Good evening, folks. You are back with us for our final game of today, of day one of the Men's European Qualifiers 2019 here in alarmingly sunny Aberdeen.
Yes, alarmingly sunny.
Yeah, it's much warmer than it was this morning. So we are coming up for our final game of the day, as I say. We will see Tyne and Fear skating in the white with gold accents against Glasgow Men's Roller Derby in the blue with the what can only be described as Iron Brew orange accents.
Very orange.
Very orange. I'm Snoogans and I'm here with the
Beta Parker.
Glorious Beta Parker.
Yeah.
Glorious. We are seconds away from getting started, but we will try and give you a quick rundown of the rosters. So first up we have Tyne and Fear. So we've got number 1 Dark Matter, 1-3 is Pablo Diablo, 137 is Fubar, 1905 is Eek, number 2 is Sniper, 27 is Princess, 35 is Sleepy, 64 60 Quad Bits, 82 Man-Shaped Dog, and 831 is Mustache.
We'll recap the lineup for Glasgow Men's Roller Derby in just a moment, as the derby is happening right now. Darth Vader, very, very fast skating, lead jammer status for Glasgow, calling it off just before they hit the pack.
So first jam, no points. And we're going to do that roster for Glasgow right now for you.
Okay, so skating for Glasgow Men's Roller Derby, we have 0-0 Spaniel, 0-7 Dead Sheeran, 1-3 Garth Vader, 1-6-6-4 Codenberg, 2-9-2 Sturdy Girders, 4 James the 4th, 4-5 Fuji, 5-4 Darth Vader, 5-5 Clark, 6-2-6 Righteous, 8 Seek and Destroy, 9 Whiplash, 9-1 Dragon Ball Z, 9-3 Crash Test Barbie, and 9-9-9 Disaster.
Absolutely fantastic. We do have a lead jammer being assessed in this jam, and it is 831 Mustache for Tyne and Fear.
Hopping through on the inside line there to grab their lead jammer status.
And it does look like we are on a power jam in favour of Tyne and Fear as well. Jammer sat in the box for Glasgow. Oh no, my mistake. It was a Star Stash from Seek and Rollstroy.
Mustache grabbing 4 points for Tyne and Fear to put the first points on the board in the game.
Looks like there was 2 scoring passes managed to get in there. So a 4-point and a 3-point pass.
Oh.
So 7 on the board for Tyne and Fear.
Crafty.
Twiddle of his mustache and points on the board.
And what a marvellous mustache
it really is. Lead jammer being assessed to Glasgow, and that's Dragon Ball Z. I had to say it at least once this game in accent. I'm sorry.
Just the one time.
Just the once. Didn't see him jam much previously in Glasgow's game earlier today.
He had a fair run of it, to be fair. Got a few leads. Looking like he's finding his feet nice and early today.
Meanwhile, Sleepy for Tyne and Fear seems to be having a bit of trouble against the comparatively tall walls of Glasgow.
It is hard to see him behind those the tall boys of Glasgow there. Meanwhile, at the front, Dragon Ball Z having no time wasted, just hopping around that last blocker.
Sleepy being recycled back to the start of turn 1 by Righteous. Righteous running him right to the very edge.
Very solid free wall from Glasgow here. Nice bit of camaraderie there. And Sleepy a pat on the back. It's okay, mate. It'll be fine. So the score's currently sitting at 4 to Glasgow Men's Roller Derby and 7 to Tyne and Fear.
Looks like a penalty assessed right at the end of the previous jam.
Yeah, the Glasgow Jammers sat in the box.
You can see from our penalty board in front of us there that it was a cut penalty assessed to Dragon Ball Z.
Pablo Diablo taking a little bit of a tumble over Clark there. Oh, sorry, Fuji. Re-engaging with the wall again.
Dog going in to break things up. So Pablo Diablo has completed the initial pass, but it was not a full pass, so to speak. It was no pass, no penalty. So he's not lead jammer, meaning lead is still open with Dragon starting from the box.
Pablo Diablo taking the inside line there, getting themselves 4 points. Dragon Ball Z there picks up the penalty. I believe it was a back block.
Yeah, big contact right into the middle of the back of Princess. Took him straight down, so he's going to head back to the box, thus removing the opportunity for him to pick up lead jammer. So this jam will run for the full 2 minutes, although we've got 35 seconds left.
Pablo Diablo, though, not sleeping on the job, making sure he's getting those passes in while he can.
I tell you what, Pablo Diablo is an absolute workhorse.
He will just keep going,
yes.
going and going.
I'm sure there's some people watching at home right now that will remember from Men's European Cup in Newcastle, probably 2 or 3 years ago. He was handed the star, and I think it might have been against New World Order possibly, and he literally just kept lapping. And he ended up picking up something ridiculous like 40 points.
Damn.
He just kept going. Very Duracell Bunny-esque. And look at his face, living his best life.
Well, I mean, when they played Mannequin in the game earlier today, again, like, put in a high rotation.
Yes.
Towards the end of the game, had basically some back-to-back jams because of unfortunate penalty situations, and just kept skating.
Absolutely.
Darth Vader there with some very skippy work on the inside line, grabs lead jammer status.
Darkman is struggling a little bit behind Righteous and Cronenberg.
Darth Vader putting in the work at the front there, pushing out that last blocker and then just sweeping on by. Dark Matter is out though. And Darth Vader decides to call that one off.
So we're just under 23 minutes left of our first half. Scores 12 points to Glasgow, 23 to Tyne and Fear. Just 6 penalties on the board so far, 3 for each team. As we move into this official timeout.
So while waiting on this official timeout, Luke, can you let me know about some of the, and I guess at home, about some of the sponsors for the event this weekend?
Absolutely. Big shout out to the wonderful Dirty Jeans. You can find them online at www.dirtyjeans.co.uk. And if you enter in the code FLYERMATE, that's Flyer M8, at checkout, you can get 15% off.
15% off.
Big shout out to the wonderful Illbilly and Katie. They do some wonderful stuff. I keep meaning to pick up some wonderful sunglasses. Nice t-shirts too.
Always in the market for new t-shirts.
Not quite beanie hat weather for me yet though.
Not quite. Anyway, back to the roller derby. What an apex jump there from Seeker Rollstroy, just taking that apex and making it his own.
Meanwhile, Mustache pushing through the pack, manages to capitalise on a bit of confusion, doesn't manage to make his way to pack to pick up any points, but Seek and Rollstroy closes that gap to just 1 point, Parker.
Well, Glasgow doing a really good job here of clawing back that slight difference. Now 3 points. Oh, yeah, the scores are changing as we speak. 1 point in it. So we're now at 22 to GMRD and 23 to Tyne and Fair.
Sleepy racing down the inside line, picks up what to the untrained eye was an easy lead jammer status, but you could see those quads pumping. Meanwhile, Spaniel caught between Fubar and Princess.
It's a very good job of getting through though. Sleepy now in the pack, putting in the work, calling off the jam, just in time, bags himself too.
Was it just me, or did Sleepy call off the jam and then dab?
Well, I mean, style points, always style points. So it looks like Tyne and Fair picked up 3 points there, Glasgow picked up 2. So we've got a 2-point gap now.
Still super, super close.
Very close game. Pablo doing the toe stop work on the inside of the straightaway. Lead jammer status, very clean.
Meanwhile, Dragon Ball Z being taken off on the outside by some nice, it was a shoulder check, I believe, from Princess. And now he's right tangled up in the middle of things in that pack.
Pablo using the hit to push himself through, get his scoring pass.
And Dragon Ball Z picking up a cutting penalty. Pablo Diablo now in Power Jam Town.
Sizes up that first blocker, now got 3 more to beat. Looks like we've got a destruction of pack penalty.
I believe you might be right.
I'm learning this game.
You know more than you know, Padawan. Pablo picking up 3 points and calling off the jam, succeeding in freezing Dragon into the box, meaning that Dark Matter will start this next jam on a power start for Tyne and Fear. 33 plays 24, just over 19 minutes left of the first half.
Tyne and Fear starting to find their legs a little bit and eke out that lead just a little bit at a time.
Yeah, they're trying to nickel and dime their way into a lead. Beautiful transition there from Dark Matter, moving sort of with that contact, and beautiful. I've got to give props to Disaster. Nice sweep, although he has picked up a forearms penalty for his trouble. But the sweep, it worked. It got Dragon out of the pack.
We've seen a very measured game from Tyne and Fair here. They are here short of numbers.
They are.
And I think we saw the same in the game earlier on today, where they sort of measured their first half, sort of took it a little bit easy in the first 15 or so minutes, and then turned it up a notch before half time. I think we're probably going to see a little bit of the same again here.
Yeah, I mean, we're not quite at 11, but we're certainly working towards it.
But speaking of turning it up to 11, Darth Vader just flies through that pack. Him be very fast.
So there's Metachlorians.
Gets into the mess of that pack and calls it off while he's in there. Bags himself a few points. Bringing the score within 10 points now. It's 27 to Glasgow Men's Roller Derby, 37 to Tyne and Fair.
I think this might be the widest differential we've seen in a while, and 10 points is absolutely nothing.
Yeah, it's very, very small. Very quick work there. Seeker Rolls-Roy making short work of that start. Coming through at a blistering pace, shaves a little off, makes contact with a wall, waits for the offense and takes the outside line. How fast was that?
Disaster out of the penalty box and cleaning house.
Putting in the work. Seeker Rolls-Roy ready to take advantage there. Big hip check from Dog there, sees them outside. Now being recycled.
Tell you what, he's mighty. He's letting it all hang out.
We've got Sleepy in against that Glasgow free wall there. They're getting broken apart by Princess. Giving him the out.
You know what you just experienced right there? That was the curse of the announcer.
Yeah.
You said Sleepy right there, caught in the, and he was out.
And then he was out.
Before you'd even finished the sentence.
I mean, the offense helped.
Oh, yeah. But
Right.
what you experienced there, that was...
The announcer.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it works both ways. Sometimes it works against the players, sometimes it works for them. But, yeah, it's a legitimate thing. 3 points.
3 points in it now.
Oh!
It's a close one, Snoogans. It's a close one.
Squeaky bum time. Pablo Diablo picking up lead over Spaniel, but Spaniel is laying on the cross. He's literally running on skates.
It's like, I'm not being left behind. I want in on this.
27-5, anyone?
We've got a very fast game of roller derby happening right now. Everyone's just like, I don't want to be hit by those cameras.
No, thank you!
Pablo using his momentum, grabs those points, calls it off. Is that 4-1? 4-1. So as we kick off the next jam, we have Dark Matter jamming for Tyne and Fear.
Takes a big hit from Cronenberg, but he stays upright inbounds, and oh, that was some beautiful twirling from Darth Vader. Takes a big hit from 60 Quad Bit, who's not quite sure if the physics have added up.
Dark Matter though, got another slick pass in. Looking for more points. Very quick duke, takes the inside line, bags himself another scoring pass.
Tyne and Fear losing players to the box left, right and centre.
Looking very depleted on track now. In fact, one of the blockers has had to report back onto track as there's no room in the box for them.
Darth Vader taking full advantage of it as Righteous from Glasgow heads to the box as well.
Dark Matter doing a bit of blocking himself now. Probably looking to kill a little bit of that penalty time. Calls it off. Is that a 12-12 jam?
Yes, it was. So Dark Matter had managed to run down the clock just enough for his blockers to get out of the penalty box. Unfortunately, what he hadn't realised was the other two blockers had also picked up penalties. Lasai.
Sometimes those blocker penalties rack up and there's no room for them to sit down.
Yeah. It's like when you've got too many bowling balls at the rink.
Yeah, and then that last one comes through and it's like kind of go clunk and then back in, clunk and then back in.
Meanwhile, though, Seek and Roll-Stroy is out, and he's roll-stroying. No other way to
work of that pack. Mustache having a little bit of trouble on that inside. I don't know how he manages to keep his skates in bounds sometimes. Like,
I don't know how he doesn't. I didn't even get to say it. I was about to say I don't know how he doesn't manage to end up on his rear end, and I didn't even get to finish the sentence, and he was on his rear end. So. Oh!
He manages to maintain his composure, but
it was a penalty.
It was a penalty. He picks up the cut track.
I really did think that was too good to be true.
Mustache loses a two-stop in the bracket.
Oh my!
He's carrying on regardless. Takes off the helmet cover. He's now looking for the star pass. Forgetting he doesn't have a toe stop on that right foot. Manages to get the pass off.
Still 40 odd seconds left of this jam. which is going to be a full 2 minutes. Seacom Rolstroy was your lead jammer. He's now making his way back on track. Mustache still having trouble without that toe stop.
I mean, if it's your main stopping foot as well, like you get so used to having that there,
Yeah.
just for the little micro movements, just putting your foot down just to make sure you're doubly sure you've got your feet set. If you lose it mid-play, it can be a little bit disconcerting. But though, put it in the work.
So, Peter Parker, you may be familiar, as I'm sure many of our watchers at home may be familiar with a popular roller derby beverage-related game. Obviously, if you're having a drink of tea or a cup of coffee, while you're, or maybe some squash, maybe a bit of lemonade while you're watching a game of roller derby, it is customary to take a sip if there is a lead change. And right now we have a lead change. 57 Tyne and Fear, 63 Glasgow men's.
That was a big jam for Glasgow men's roller derby. 16 points on the board, only 4 for Tyne and Fear.
10 minutes 57 remaining of this first half. Wow. That was an incredible jam.
It's a very good jam. This is turning into quite a game. We knew it was going to be a very physical, very fast game, but this is just probably the most intense one we've had of the day.
Easily the closest game we've had of the day. Glasgow obviously have had some changes to their roster very recently. There's been a lot of movement within MRDA teams. If you're not aware, you've been living under a rock, do a bit of research. Or tweet me. I told people they could tweet me earlier, at Snoogans37. So that they're down a couple of key components. And as we've already mentioned, Tyne and Fear have come with a very short roster. And both these teams are hungry.
Yeah, they're really putting in the work. You can tell they both want this win. At the minute, the penalty box is a bit busy for Glasgow. And Sleepy's taking advantage of that.
Yeah. He is your lead jammer, so Tyne and Fear are currently in possession of the jam.
Spaniel trying to deal with that free wall, trying to shove his own blocker into the free wall to try and give himself some space. Doesn't quite work. Whips off the star, looking for a pass. But at the moment, his pivot is quite busy holding Sleepy at the back there. On the way in to help out, Dead Sheeran gives a little bit of offense to try and help out. That four-player blocking wall now down to the try.
Silky smooth star pass. Absolutely textbook.
Waited for that wall to be fully engaged with the jammer.
Yeah.
And then just stuck his hand out, made its way there. Off he went.
Folks, if you would join us in taking another sip of your beverage, because we've had another lead change, 64-63, Tyne and Fear.
It's going to be one of those games, Snoot.
I think you might be right, Parker.
So as we line up again, it's like Pablo on the line for Tyne and Fear.
And somebody a bit smaller. I think that's Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Pablo is your lead jammer, though. Sturdy Girders going in with a bit of offense. Just enough confusion in the pack for Dragon to be able to run around the outside line. However, Pablo has already slipped through, picked up 4 points, and called off the jam. Nice.
Very nice.
I might have been watching a bit of Brooklyn Nine-Nine recently.
Toy.
Nice and toy.
Nice.
So
this game is really. I'm literally on the edge of my seat.
I've had to to adjust my seated position, mainly because if I sit that far forward, it is absolute damage to my quads and my ankles.
Right, so we got lead jammer status for Glasgow. Darth Vader, quick little shoulder dip, takes the outside line, manages to stay in track. Very low spins, only 1 foot went out. Very carefully lifted himself on that one leg while spinning to maintain track position and get the scoring path.
Just briefly, big shout out to King Crazy. Pablo Diablo's jam that I mentioned from Men's European Cup all those years ago was against SDRD. Thank you very much. In response to the rest of your tweets, I'm not entirely sure. That's information I'm not privy to. But time will tell, perhaps.
Tyne and Fair are putting in the work.
They really are. But yes, I wanted to say So Disco, but I wasn't 100% sure. I had a vague memory of some kind of maroon, but I obviously picked the wrong one. Folks, time to take another sip. 68.71 in flavour of Glasgow.
However, Moustache is having a time of it. Some little... whoa! That was a big apex jump there.
BEA beautiful.
He didn't even just like barely land in the track. He like landed like 4 foot in the track. Moustache getting recycled on the inside there. I mean, if there's someone here this weekend that...
That was...
And a dab! Moustache knows. He knows. Unbelievable manoeuvres there from Moustache on the outside line.
Just... Oh my... words.
I mean, he just needed to attach that toe stop again. He was all right.
Yeah.
It's no wonder it comes unscrewed.
Right?
That was incredible work.
Lefty
there.
loosey, righty tighty, and he's sorted.
60 quad bit there, making sure that Seeker Rolls-Royce is not having any of it.
No, you may not.
You have to stay here with me. Our jammer is busy.
All of our opposing jammers are busy right now.
Please stay on the line, where we will give you a shoulder or hip. Moustache is having a time of it. He's really, really enjoyed himself out there.
I tell you what, I'm really, really enjoying myself right here.
He looked at that and was like, well, that's I could get myself through there. If I can spin on 1 foot on the outside of the track like a tornado, then
I do hope he's going to amend his adjust his toe stop again.
I am really glad I'm not wearing my Apple Watch, because my heart rate right now would probably break it.
Folks, have another drink.
Other fitness devices are available.
Yes, other fitness applications are available. 71 Glasgow, 88 Tyne and Fear. Another lead change. That's 5 this half.
Just under 5 minutes left of this first half. Sleepy really trying to stay on the inside there, but unfortunately had to lift his foot and put it out of bounds, so had to get recycled. And now Spaniel at the front really pushing on that free wall from Tyne and Fear. Having a fight for every foot. Just Sleepy just trying to feel out the back of that Glasgow wall.
Now, we've talked a lot about the jammers, Parker. But
these free walls are insane.
We are 45 seconds into this jam. We've got no lead.
But a big recycle there from Tyne and Fear. Spaniel all the way back to the back. Sleepy still caught in that Glasgow free wall.
This defensive work is just, it's delicious.
I mean, it's Righteous back there putting in the work. You've got Crash Test Barbie putting in the work. Big hit on the outside.
I just want to draw your attention, Parker. So Spaniel is through, but it's no pass, no penalty. He is not lead.
So lead is still open.
Lead is still open.
Oh.
And Spaniel's actually
And
headed to the
Spaniel's
box.
headed to the
Four
box.
arms.
So that means we're going to have a full 2. No, we can still have a.
No,
lead jam.
star pass.
Right, so we are having a full 2-minute jam. Dog taking a big hit there from Cronenberg.
Looks like Dog's trying to take himself for a walk, but Cronenberg's like, no.
Stay.
You
Stay. Heel.
You stay in the house.
He needs a breather. He's just.
He's gassed.
It was a big hit. So. Played out that 2 minutes, gave everyone a rest, let everyone chill out for a little bit.
Damn.
That was a hell of a jam.
Hell of a jam that just about made a lap.
Just. So.
You don't see that very often, but I find that those jams that happen where you barely make it round the track, they are some of those, because it's all about the blockers, they are some of the most impressive jams. And I'm sure what we're going to see right now is going to be another impressive jam for different reasons. Pablo Diablo's lead once again, and Dragon Ball Z is out and after him. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I'm not even going to try.
No.
Pablo very happy with those 4 points and just going to go, right, these are mine, in the bag.
Bag of my
Tap,
lovin'.
tap, tap.
Bag of my lovin'.
So the current score, 74 to Glasgow Men's Roller Derby, 92 to Tyne and Fair. That gap opening up a little bit now, but still not huge.
Darth Vader and Dark Matter, your active jammers.
Fubar just holding his position, not engaging in a block of sorts, but just positionally getting in the way so that wall can't move as much. Means that Dark Matter just had an easy time of it on that inside line there.
Not so much now, though.
Not so much now. That wall is reformed. The jam is called.
2-1 on the points.
2-1.
94.75 in favour of Tyne and Fear. 40 seconds left on the period clock. So unless something goes absolutely... this will be our last jam of the half.
We could have some saucy timeout action by...
I don't think I could survive that.
My heart wouldn't. So here we go.
Nope, not right now.
Mustache is really up for this one, already trying a fancy footwork, but Secret Rollstroy is no sleeper himself. Very, very fast on those toes, but Mustache on the inside, very slick, takes the jammer status. Gives Rollstroy the slit, engages in the wall, just hops
Beautiful.
through on the inside. Another scoring pass.
Rollstroy looking for the outside line, nearly has it, but Princess, using the logic and the wise words as once spoken, he can do it. Put his ass into it.
Mustache here is.
You know that philosopher.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's a fable of old.
Yeah.
I think it came across in an old wooden ship.
Yeah, in days of yore.
In the days of yore.
Yeah.
So that whistle signifies the first intermission of the game. Well, the only intermission of the game. 'Cause I know how this game works.
Bruh.
What an intense half of roller derby. 106 points to Tyne and Fair, 75 points to Glasgow Men's Roller Derby. Tyne and Fair bagged 12 points in that last jam.
31 point differential. That is the biggest differential we've had all half.
Was it 5 or 6 lead changes? Five
Five lead changes. Damn. We're going to take a break. We will be back with you in about 12 or 13 minutes. We'll give you a rundown of the penalties and if we've managed to level out our heart rates.
Yeah, I'm going to go sit in the
quiet
hall,
room.
in the hall and just like zen.
Yeah. So folks, refresh your drinks, grab a snack, and we will see you very soon. Thank you. Hello, we're back.
We are back. And the rolling whistle has just gone, which means we are just about to come out of intermission.
How was your halftime? Right? May have been the best halftime I ever had.
Went and had a smoke, tried to chill out, did not succeed.
Yeah, and me neither. So we've got a smattering of penalties across both teams. 2 skaters on 3 for Tyne and Fear. 1 on 2, 2 on 1. 2 on 3 for
Glasgow,
thank you. 1 on 2 and 10 on 1. So nothing really to write home about.
Yeah, nothing dangerous yet. We've got Dark Matter, lead jammer for Tyne and Fear. Taking advantage of that inside line, but then again, not like they're having a little chat as they whiz around. Like Darth got a bit of strut on there.
Yeah.
Didn't stop him getting taken to the inside there.
Looks like he took a reasonable hit, possibly to the midsection. We're going to take a moment while our medics check him over. As we're all well aware, roller derby, full contact sport, sometimes things happen that maybe aren't supposed to, which is why, of course, we have our medics here. So we're going to take some time, as I've said, while we make sure that everyone's okay. So we can go into a little bit more detail. Have a look at those penalties. So it's probably easier to say who doesn't have penalties for Glasgow than who does, because as I mentioned, there's 10 of them who are on 1. So Darth Vader and Clark don't have any penalties. Whiplash and Dragon are on 3. Sturdy Girders are on 2. Everyone else has 1 apiece. For Tyne and Fear, we've got Fubar is sitting on 4. He's the highest penalty scorer. Scorer is not the right word. That implies some kind of success. And that's,
they are carrying the most penalties for their team.
Thank you for that. Thank you. We've got Man-Shaped Dog is sitting on 3 penalties. Princess with 2, and then Eek and 60 Quad Bit both have 1 penalty apiece. Everyone else is currently skating clean.
Which is really good for Tyne and Fear considering their shorter roster.
Yes, absolutely.
That should help them out tremendously. I think Glasgow are going to start to see a few issues here if they start to rack these penalties up.
Yeah.
Hopefully having the break at half-time, they've recollected themselves a little bit, had to think about what they need to do. Saying that though, 1 penalty across the board, like, it's not super worrisome.
No, absolutely. I mean, we did have somebody this morning who picked up their 6th penalty, jam 2 or 3 of the second half, and managed to skate the remainder of the game and foul out in the penultimate jam. So if you can hear some ruckus carrying across our mic, that is because Darth Vader has stood after being checked over by the medics, and he is making his way back to his bench under his own steam.
Like chance to guess that he was doing one of his fancy leg moves, took a hit in the leg, probably got some sort of like spasm or cramp or something.
Very possible, very possible.
That happens to me a lot, but then I'm super unfit. Coco gives me a knock, and then I'm like, I'm just going to stay on the floor for a bit while my toes curl.
Or they catch you in the gonads.
Yeah, that's quite a common occurrence in training. $60 bit giving us a bit of a show, balancing on 2 wheels.
Love it, love it.
On his heels. Be careful!
The best bit is he probably thinks it's on camera. He's absolutely not. Anyway, back to the action.
Back to the action. So we've got
Seek and Rollstroy
Yeah.
coming out of the pack backwards as Mustache is taken off coming out of turn 1.
You know what I love about Mustache has got to have like the most refined skates. Like if you look at his actual skates, like they look like some sort of Porsche or Ferrari. Like they've got a spoiler on the front. Like you know what I mean? Like pimp my ride, like pimp my skate. Like I want the biggest spoiler I can get on my skates because it'll make me go faster.
Yeah, I see exactly what you mean.
Top style with that moustache. Very stylish. Right, so we've got jamming for Tyne and Fair, Sleepy, and Dragon Ball Z for Glasgow. Sleepy, not asleep at the wheel though. Straight out of that pack.
However, he has just been assessed a high block penalty. Our 2 OPRs have issued that from the outfield, meaning Dragon Ball Z has been given lead jammer status.
Not gonna lie, looked a bit bewildered when he got the whistle
He
there
was
on
like-
the straightaway.
It was like, you what?
You know what, mate?
It's like that meme of you.
Yeah, me and Gruff.
Yeah.
There's a bit of an in-joke.
Yeah, apologies. We tried to steer away from in jokes, but you know when something just pops into your mind. So Dragon Ball Z picking up some points, calling off the jam. Didn't quite manage to freeze Sleepy into the penalty box. So we will be starting with a full complement, an 80-wheeler, if you will.
Everyone likes a big wagon.
That's a big old wagon.
Now I'm just thinking about wagon wheels.
I haven't had a wagon wheel in years.
The jam, the marshmallow, the chocolate. What's not to love?
I loved. Did you ever have the chocolate ones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like double win.
Yeah. Anyway,
Back to the roller derby.
it's been a long day, folks.
Right, just putting in a jam for Glasgow. His lead jammer status. He was a little unhappy about having to jam earlier on today, but seems to do such a good job of it.
He does well, to be fair.
He's got a lot of power, a lot of pace, and he just...
And he's quite a seasoned skater for Glasgow as well. He's been at this a while with them.
Unfortunately, as we say, that very thing picks up a penalty and heads to the box. Means he loses his lead jammer status, and we are going to go for the full 2 minutes.
We've had ourselves a star pass, so Fubar now in possession of the start for Tyne and Fear.
I think it's the first time we've seen him jam today.
I believe you might be right. Fubar living for the outside line, takes a big shoulder check from James the Fourth as he's nearly out.
How James managed to stay in there is beyond me, but just misses that hip check. But unfortunately, it looks like Fubar has also picked up a cut track penalty and will be reporting to the box. This means that Righteous is now back on track.
Revolving door jammers. Righteous was already headed back towards the track as Fubar headed to the box, so it will be a full 30. No jammer layover, so to speak.
Righteous just pushing on through there, not taking any of 60 quad bits.
None of his guff.
Shoulder. Yeah, none of that trouble, thank you very much. I'm just going to...
Pablo Diablo just...
Pablo put the brakes on there.
Nah, mate.
My line.
It's my line and it's a fine line.
Nice move there for Righteous to use his chest to hold off that block, to keep his feet in bounds.
Points all round.
So that puts 4 on the board for Tyne and Fair there, 8 on the board for GMRD, which means we've got 91 going to Glasgow and 115 to Tyne and Fair. But, this game is not running away from Glasgow. They are well in the running still.
Yeah, 24 minutes and 17 seconds left.
Plenty of derby left to play.
24-point differential.
Seeking Rollstroy, taking it to that really strong...
Oh, that was tasty. So Seek and Rollstroy just pipping Dark Matter to the post.
We've got a full jammer chase on. Princess wanting in on that as well. 27 and 5, here we go. Rolls-Royce just like, I need a rest. Very fast skating there from both teams. It's amazing how that explosive moment happens when those jammers get out so close to each other and they're both trying to hustle because one of them wants to hit that pack first.
Yeah.
And then the packs realize this and they're just like, just go! And it's just that.
Let's go already!
So we got Darth Vader and Mustache.
Looking for that grapevine movement again along the inside. However, just tapped her toe into the infield. Goes much simpler, straight skating.
Sometimes you just need to skate.
Yeah.
But he could literally feel Darth Vader in his wake and was like, nah, son. Taps the hips, rolls it off. Locks us to a 0-0 jam. That's donuts all round.
Could well go for some donuts.
I'm feeling donuts. We did have a lot of donuts on the way here, though.
We did.
We had many donuts.
We did. From north and south of the border. Team timeout called by Tyne and Fear. Score, no change of the scores over the last couple of jams. 22.5 minutes remaining of this game.
Glasgow decided to have their chinwag on track.
Quick shout out to another one of our sponsors, United Skate Shop. Derby, dance, disco, artistic, everything you need to skate indoor and outdoor. Do make sure you head over. You can find them online. That's United Skates, skate spelled SK number 8S, Skate Shop. And if you've got friends attending but you've not been able to make it, but you think that you might want something picking up, we do have vendors in store. We've got Fifth Blocker, Moral Decay, United Skates are here, Sloth Comics, Ceratique, and we've got Semple Sports Therapy. They might be able to book you in if you're next in the area. Semple, of course. So please do make sure you hit up your mates to bag you some stuff. A lot of our vendors do accept card payments, so you could even PayPal your mates some funds. And
sort yourself out with some treats.
Yeah.
Treat yourself.
Treat yourself. And do a bit of the old roller derby postal system.
So we've got some very fast work happening on track right now. Sleepy, once again, explosive speed, taking advantage of a very small gap and managing to squeeze on through and get lead jammer status. But Dragon Ball is not sleeping themselves and is moving and shifting and spinning as much as they can, trying to keep those blockers moving so they can't form a tripod. Having some measure of success, but Tyne and Fair are just making sure they've got one set of hips on them at all times.
Sleepy heading to the penalty box. I was more focused on the fact that Princess is doing a really nice work with some recycling of Dragon. He's everywhere.
Yeah, he's very good at managing to keep his hip on the side of the skater, hold them, but not. He doesn't want to hit them off, and then he waits until it's, I'm going to lose them, gives them the shove, then does the nice 10, 15-foot recycle.
Yeah.
Again, here at the front.
Right there.
That last little shoulder, you see what happens there? He takes him, he holds him on his chest, waits until he's about to lose him, and then he's like, right, I'm going to put you out now because I don't want to lose you.
Yeah.
And also very clever about sometimes not doing a massive run back, just making sure he's on the outside of that track so that skater can't just cut in real quick. Very clever play from Princess.
Now, I know that I announced Princess earlier this year, skating for a different team, I'm certain of it. And from what I understand, that was one of his first, if not at least earlier games. He's come on literal leaps and bounds and has really developed his game. And you can see that his derby knowledge is there.
Yeah.
And hit hot, and it's actually really enjoyable to see that knowledge has developed.
Yeah.
And the tactical knowledge.
It's interesting for me. I've not seen anything of Princess before. I watch a fair bit of Derby, but he's new to me here this weekend, and I'm impressed. I think he's a brilliant skater. So we see Pablo with the star again for Tyne and Fear on track, having a chat with his blockers now. We've got an official review going on in the meantime.
Just another quick shout. I've had another tweet. It was a little while ago, about half an hour ago, from King Crazy once again. Best thing about MRDA, nobody cares if you're a he, a she, or a they. I actually couldn't agree with you more, King. It's one of my favourite things about the MRDA is that the gender policy and the way everything is set out in the language and the way things are done in the policies and everything like that means that regardless of your gender identity and how you identify, means that you are welcome. And I absolutely love that.
Yeah, I think it's brilliant. I get to skate with a lot of awesome people, and because of that policy, I get to skate with a great many different type of people. Yeah. And I think it's brilliant.
Yeah. If you know me on a personal level and you have me as a friend on Facebook or Instagram or anything like that, you'll know that I'm forever harping on about gender pronouns and making the effort to kind of get that kind of stuff right, and recognising and respecting people's gender identities, whether they're non-binary, genderqueer, trans, male, female, everything and anything in between or all around, and the fact that you can be any of those or anything else, and be welcome to play within an MRDA team is something that's really important to me, because it's something that's really important to a lot of people that I care about.
Yeah. From a personal level,
yeah,
it's really important to feel safe, and
yeah.
I have that with my team. When I came out, everyone was super understanding, and they do the very, very best to make sure they try to stick to my product. They do a better job than I do, so it is wonderful, and I see that everywhere, so yeah. It's really good.
For those of you that might be wondering, Peter Parker is identifies as non-binary. Their pronouns are they, them. Identifies as female, my pronouns are she, her, but I am happy to be referred to as they, them. It's important. I'm now going to get down off my soapbox, because this isn't really what we're supposed to be using this platform for. But basically, thank you MRDA for creating the safe space for people of all genders to be able to skate and enjoy this sport. Thank you.
So a little update on the overview of the
official
official
review. Thank you.
They were looking to get the insubordination issued to the Tyne and Fair jammer overturned. However, the call stands. They will lose their official review.
Thank you very much. And thank you to Tom Bowler for feeding that information back to us.
Pablo Diablo there using a nice little hit to just square them into the right line, take the inside line and maintain their lead jammer status, grabbing their points as they do so. Rolstroy really trying to give it a bit of shoulder and hip in the corner there to grab their points themselves. Pablo, when Pablo gets their momentum going, it's really hard to stop.
It really is.
He's got a lot of power, but he's not like he's agile as well. Like he can take that 2-3 lane hop and just sort of go with it.
And he's got the control as well. He's not just going to go in and smash it up.
Well, you see very cleverly, like he'll sort of weave in and shave off that speed to hit that wall in the right place, and either nudge them apart or then, okay, I'm going to hit this wall for a bit and just see where it is, and then I'm going to make a move. At the minute, he's really hung up on that Glasgow free wall, though. It's a really solid free wall.
It is a beautiful 3-wall. Looks like it's being controlled by, I think that's Crash Test Barbie was the controller.
And you had Spaniel and Girders really holding Pablo there, but eventually something has to give.
Yeah.
And they just got turned around on themselves a little bit, and he managed to take advantage of that movement. We now see a similar situation at the back again. Crash Test Barbie now recycling, and then we see the end of that jam. So we've got 15 points for Tyne and Fear in that jam, 8 points for Glasgow Men's Roller Derby, which means we're on 103 to Glasgow and 132 to Tyne and Fear.
So still that 31-point differential, and that's still the biggest spread that we've seen. I think that was what we hit just after half time, and it's still not gotten any broader than that.
Yeah, the differential seems to have stuck around the 30-point mark, which is one power jam. You know, it's not an insurmountable amount of points, even in one jam. So This game is going to go down to the last whistle.
Darth Vader picking up his first penalty, a cut there.
Martin manages to hold his foot there, but just loses it on the inside, taking that tap from Righteous. Resets behind the pack. Going to have another crack at this. Very smart, pulls that wall to the outside, lets his offense just keep that little gap for him, and then just swings all the way in, gets his lead jammer status, and is now looking for some points.
Darth Vader out of the penalty box and already looking at the pack.
Dark Matter, they're very cleverly taking that hit, using Darth Vader's movement. Oh my lord!
Sorry that everybody just had to listen to me essentially beat Tigger down the microphone. I didn't quite know how else to react to that. That was
that speed wobble, but still maintained his strength and balance. Holds that inside line and makes sure he doesn't go out. Got a Tyne and Fear block ahead into the penalty box now. Dark Matter still working for those points. Another 4 points on the board. Darth Vader taking a hit on the inside corner there. Now got a 2-wall to deal with. Dog takes him on the chest. Fubar is there. Fubar picks up the penalty. Darth Vader breaks on through.
Fubar requested to go back on track as we've already got a full penalty box. Sniper and Princess both already seated.
Here we go. So,
lot of penalties in that jam.
Yeah,
for both
very
teams.
busy in the penalty box. And joint on points there, 12 points apiece. Fubar.
Sorry if you didn't catch that. That was essentially me woofing. I'm actually really glad that we've got an official timeout because we've essentially, remember at the start of the half, a mere 14 minutes and 48 seconds ago, we were like, yeah, there's a smattering of penalties here and there. That's my impression of myself.
Things have changed a lot.
Yeah, so I've not been looking at the
I think a good portion of them were in that last jam.
The laptop. Why didn't you tell me, producer man? Why didn't you tell me? No, it's totally my fault. I'm blaming our wonderful producer. It's absolutely my own fault. Fubar has fouled out. Did he even have any penalties moving into the second half?
I don't. Maybe one?
Maybe one. Fubar has fouled out. Eek is on 3. Sniper has picked up a penalty. Princess now on 4. Sleepy on 3. 60 quad bit and man-shaped dog are on 4. Righteous is on 4. Mustache has just picked up lead jammer. And we've now got Whiplash, Dragon Ball Z on 3. Crash Test Barbie, Spaniel, Dead Sheeran, Cronenborg and Sturdy Girders on 2. And Clark is still the only skater for Glasgow without a penalty.
Huge apex jump!
Goodness gracious, great balls of fire.
Absolutely massive apex jump there from
that was a Reaper-esque level of apex jump.
Unbelievable.
I
lost for words. Snooks is trying to catch their breath while Moustache is having a little bit of a rest on the back of that Glasgow tripod. We're still a little bit aghast of that move, but I think Moustache now trying to figure out what he's going to do about this really solid free wall he's found himself up against. Trying to work it out, just take his time. Again, we've got Dragon Ball Z at the front here, looking for the star pass to Righteous, getting recycled again by Princess with that clever last minute hit. Righteous trying to work that wedge apart so that when Dragon Ball gets up there, he's got something to work with, but a little bit too early. Now we see Dragon Ball break through. Moustache, not one to slouch, takes advantage of the gap and takes his points as well. Calls the jam.
I'll be honest, I'm still aghast.
It wasn't just the length; it was the height. Like he was high off the ground for that jump. Unbelievable stuff. You never heard four announcers scream so simultaneously like that. That was impressive.
So the way we're placed in the hall, we feed announcers, we're on a slightly elevated platform, and the house announcers are situated just next to us. In front of us is one of the team benches. At this point in the game, Tyne and Fear's bench is in front of us. As Moustache has just come off track, I've just stood up from where we are. I'm like, Moustache! I've just stood up and saluted him. And Loud and Queer, who's doing in-house with Tombola, is just like, that was really good! Yeah, we're big fans.
Yeah. Really big fan of Moustache. The last two games have been.
I've announced him a couple of times. I think he played when Tyne and Fears and Glorious Beastars played the Brawlers last year in that incredibly close game, which hardly anybody saw, and I'm still upset about.
1 point win.
Yeah.
Was it 1 point or 2 points?
1 point. I
Not
think
to toot our own horns.
No, it was a bloody brilliant game. And this points differential is spreading. 119 to Glasgow, 156 to Tyne and Fear. Darth Vader taking a big hit.
Again. So good at that last hit. Make sure he gets back in position. But yeah, Darth Vader absolutely ecstatic about grabbing that lead jammer status there. Worked really hard for it too. Using his momentum and the weight of that hit to push him through again. Grabs himself 4 points. So that's 4 points to Glasgow Men's Roller Derby, closing that gap a little bit, bringing them to 123 against Tyne and Fear's 156. Lining up to jam now, we have Pablo Diablo for Tyne and Fear, and I can't see because Spaniel is really big.
He's quite large.
He's very tall.
He's a log boy. Pablo, photo finished, but Pablo Diablo picked up lead over Seek and Rollstroy to jam a race. And while Pablo is, as we've said, a workhorse, Seek and Rollstroy does have the speed over him.
Seek and Rollstroy just sort of takes off like a bullet out of a gun. Pablo didn't need to race that. He was happy enough to give it a call.
That would have been, and I don't mean this in a negative way at all, but it would have been a waste of energy.
Yeah, I mean, they're skating short. They need to make sure they're staying fresh. chasing down jammers for no need when you
No.
can just close that down and
Yeah.
reset and start again.
Shut it down.
Smartest move to make. All these, oh my lord, Dark Matter there. Insanely low sweeping bean dip to
Yeah.
take lead jammer status. Darth Vader not want to be outdone, screaming out the pack himself. And again, a little hot from Dark Matter, taps the hips. He's like, I'll take those points, thank you very much.
Tardock.
Tardock puts them in the bag. 160 points to Tyne and Fair now. Glasgow following with 123.
10:40 left on the period clock. We are very close to wrapping up here for the day, folks. Don't forget, we've still got 5 more games tomorrow.
5 more games tomorrow.
It's been a bloody good day at roller derby, though, in a park.
A fantastic day of roller derby. I've thoroughly enjoyed the last game and this game. Have both been, I think, my games of the day.
Good
Not to say
stuff.
the other games weren't great,
No.
but they've all been really good.
It's so difficult as an announcer to say, that was pretty.
I'll only have one foot on the floor at any one given time so that I can leap at a single
Da-da-da.
notice.
I'm not sure what that was, but da da da.
He's like, I think he's the roller derby version of Zebedee. Because he's got the moustache. Insanely low. Oh, lordy. Very, very low bean dip onto one foot to maintain track position, hold the outside line, and keeps on going. Great use of the hip there to stay in bounds, tapped his hips.
Call the jam, said Zebedee.
Yeah. I mean, I think Moustache is just having fun now. Every time he's skating off track, he's got the biggest smile on his face.
And you know what? Like, obviously, this is a qualifier. This is a tournament to see which 2 teams will qualify to go to the Men's Roller Derby Association Championships in October later this year in the States. So there is legitimate stuff up for grabs. But ultimately, like, if we get right down to the bare bones of it, this is a hobby. That was beautiful. Your face is absolutely justified.
How did he do that?
I don't know. This is a hobby, and we should be doing this because we enjoy it. So to see skaters come off track with massive grins on their face,
it's a big
to have us react, going, "Oh, that was a bit nice." This is the kind of reactions that we should be getting, and this is the kind of way that people should be acting and enjoying things. So
speaking about not coming off track smiling, we see Dead Sheeran coming off track there, less than happy, having picked up a penalty.
He's not a fan of the shape of that. I'm sorry.
You do not bring Ed Sheeran jokes into my house.
We are in Aberdeen. We are so far from your house.
Home is where the heart is. And right now my heart stopped beating, so this will be the place where it rests.
Oh, wow. Wow, that was dark, Parker.
Righteous doing the work at the back there to try and maintain Sleepy at the back of the pack.
Enough.
However, Sleepy is not having any of it, and he's really working on that free wall. But once again, Glasgow showing that they've got a really solid tripod. Not to say that the guys from Tyne and Fair aren't doing it as well, but Seeker Rollstroy is really trying to put laps in now.
Oh, yes.
Hands on hips, weighing up what's going on. The offense goes in, waits for the contact on the wall, has only the 2 left to beat. Shimmy, wiggle.
Oh,
very nice.
That might be the first time this half we haven't seen Princess take the jammer off.
I think it was just the point of like, well, which show do you want? Because I can change.
I can change, man.
I can change. But that, a wonderful move there. Just that people like look at that sometimes, that little jammer shimmy, and like a lot of people are just like, that just looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it really does help throw that blocker off because they
It
really
has a time and a place.
Yeah, they really want to plant that shoulder, and they need to think about their feet while they're doing it because they've got to make sure those feet are going in Derby direction.
Oh yeah.
If you can just get them thinking a little bit longer than they should about which shoulder to hit, they're going to telegraph it, you're going to read it, you're going to roll off that hit.
I tell you what, speaking of shoulders hit, Dragon Ball Z looking for the apex and nearly landed it. However, managed to land his chest straight onto Princess's shoulder.
Skipping through, but Princess chasing down, making sure. No, just out of play. Now waiting for that wall to get back together, sitting ahead of the wall, waiting for his blockers to come to him.
And we've had ourselves a Star Pass 60 quad bit, one of my favourite people at Tyne and Fear. To be fair, Tyne and Fear are a lovely bunch anyway.
First star of the day.
This weekend. Yeah.
Let him have some points, people.
So if you know him, you'll know the 60 quad bits had a slew of health issues over the last few years. And it is an absolute joy to see that he is back fighting fit and on track this weekend. So if you're watching it back, quad, it is an absolute pleasure to be able to announce you this weekend. So yeah, fab stuff.
Yeah, 60 quad bit, when we were setting up the stream for the Louisiana Cup, was very gracious to give a lot of information and knowledge over to Coco to help us make some better choices so we could get our stream up and going for that. So we're always appreciative of the help that he threw our way. I've not got a chance to thank him personally yet, but I will make sure I find him at the after party.
Yeah. And this is the roller derby community.
Sharing
at
knowledge.
At its finest.
Yeah, looking after each other and making sure we're getting the best out of everything we can. It really helped us. So if you are watching this and I don't get to say thank you, 60 quad bit.
I think we've just turned this into a bit of a love fest, this game.
Well, I mean, it's the end of the day. It's been quite emotional, Snood.
It has a little bit.
I've had a lot of sugar. You know, sometimes you just have to let it flow. Yeah.
Don't hold it back anymore. I'll stop, I promise. Do you know what? I swore to myself. I didn't swear to myself, but I was like, I'm not going to sing all day. And I managed to hold off doing it.
You knew you were on a stream with me and you said you weren't going to sing.
Well, we've never done stream together before.
Yeah, but we've announced together before.
Yeah.
We're getting very, okay, there's roller derby happening.
Yeah. Let's, back to the task at hand. We've got 5 minutes 10, 5 minutes 10 left on the clock.
We have a wall set up to try and retain those jammers. Lovely hit on Darth Vader there, sending them onto the inside of the track, maintaining the status quo. Picks up a penalty in the process. Looks like a back block. And so we'll be sitting in the box, which means Pablo has sole status as the only jammer on the track at the minute. Keeping their feet in bounds, hugging that inside line. Lead jammer status.
So 4:37 on the clock, 134 Glasgow, 172 Tyne and Fear.
Now looking at Pablo taking on the front of that pack again. Breaks on through. Cronenberg trying to chase down, but realizes it's a fool's errand at that point and goes to reset with his wall. Darth Vader is now back on track, engages in a little jammer on jammer nonsense. Diablo just giving a hit there, but as I say that, focus on Diablo. Darth's just like, I'm gone! Pew! And just speeds out about how fast this guy's going. Takes that point, takes a hit, but then grabs the other. Back on their feet as quick as you like. Bags 4 points for Glasgow.
Not even fully shut down by a full body contact from Dog.
Yeah, that's a full chest from Dog. And Dog can put them down, so I shouldn't. That's a poor choice of words.
No animals were harmed in the making of this live stream. Damn, Parker.
Well, I said, I've had a lot of sugar. Right, so the resident airman, his mustache, is taking to the track, jamming for Tyne and Fear.
He does look a little bit like the Brit.
Give him a leather coat, like with
the British airman from Hello.
Oh, unfortunately,
he did not listen very carefully. Although the ref did only have to say it only once.
Anyway, so we've got Righteous jamming for Glasgow Men's Roller Derby. This guy may complain about jamming, but the guy can jam.
He really can.
He's got a good shoulder, he's fast on his skates, light on his feet. It's another 4 points for Glasgow there, courtesy of the non-jammer in the room.
Yeah, fast on his skates, light on his feet, and powered by Iron Brew. I want to say other weird orange-coloured beverages are available, but I'm fairly certain they're not.
Oh, that hit there
Beautiful.
from Sturdy.
That was gorgeous.
Sturdy really laid the smack. It was like, I've had enough of your shenanigans, sir.
Yes.
Take a seat.
I said good day, sir.
I said good day. 60 quad bit has also decided it's time to take a seat in the box for whatever reason. Mustache having a lap now. Comes in for landing.
Chops away.
Chops away. I'm very excited, Snooks. I'm
What are we going
elated.
to do with all this energy? We're nearly finished. Team timeout called by Glasgow. We've got 1:38 left on the clock. 146 Glasgow, 180 to Tyne and Fear. So like,
there is now in this.
there's not.
That's one power jam.
It's not.
I mean,
Maybe on the previous rule set with points, jam a lap points.
talking to someone that whose team lost a 40-point jam in British Champs this season.
That was a different set of circumstances, Parker, and you know it.
Well, yeah, but Derby's a crazy game.
It is. We've not ended up with a similar set of circumstances in this particular game, or at all this weekend. It's not quite a power jam.
It's 34 points. So
it's still not a lot.
It's not a lot.
If you go, and I'm fairly certain I can get away with this by using local dialect, and I apologise in advance. If you go balls to the wall, you might be able to get away with it. That was terrible, and I am so sorry.
Have you tried other accents?
Yeah, I can do other accents better, but we're in Scotland.
Yeah, but they can get to you now.
Yeah, and they're going to.
I don't have the guts to do it, so I literally have taken my hat off to you.
If it helps, I'm going to get mine, so don't worry about it.
So we have a lead jammer status issued to Seek and Rollstroy. Really putting the work in, but Dark Matter decides that they want to get out and get some points as well. So they've made their initial pass, looking to score some points themselves. Rollstroy deciding that that's not going to happen, locks out Tyne and Fear from scoring any more points.
Okay, Rollstroy didn't manage to pick up the points.
In that situation, I mean, keeping that differential low is important, but we're so close to the end here.
Yeah.
We're probably going to get this last jam.
Yeah.
I may have just played for the points. But, choices were made. Might not have been a bad one, but Dems the break. Pablo, though, wants to be the last lead jammer of the game, it seems.
Potentially.
Doing his lap, just checking his wheels as he goes. Oh, casual. Grabs onto his blocker just to yaw him through the back there, just give me a tug. We've got dancing going on. But don't look at me like that.
Too late.
Darth Vader now has made it out on his initial pass. But Pablo's still skating, still going for days, like we say.
Skates for days, darling.
He can safely call it off now.
Yeah,
and
period
he does.
has expired.
Brilliant last jam there from Pablo. Puts 8 on the board for Tyne and Fear. Glasgow pick up for themselves, making that a clean 150 for Glasgow. 188 as we wait for that to become the official score.
It's official, non-official, still only a 38-point differential.
Very, very close game. Really impressed with Glasgow's determination to try and take it to the end there. Like,
Oh, yeah.
they didn't stop
Absolutely.
skating.
Absolutely.
Tyne and Fair, I think they found their feet just before the end of the second half.
Yes.
Started to string together some slightly higher point jams rather than just nickel and diming it. They were like, right, okay, let's grab 8.
Yeah.
And they became fairly successful at that. And then just sort of sat there at that comfortable level of like getting at least as many, if not doubling what the other jammer was getting.
Yeah,
and that's how
absolutely.
they managed to hold that lead. But it's not a huge one.
No, absolutely not. I mean, we can confirm that is your official final score. 150 for Glasgow men's roller derby, but your winners with 188, Tyne and Fear roller derby. That was, for me, I think that's game of the day.
Definitely.
It had absolutely everything. Really brilliant technical work, wonderful tactical work, some really nice camaraderie, and
Flair,
just some
style, panache. How many more adjectives?
more than we've got time for, realistically. And just some really good quality roller derby.
Yeah.
Folks, we do hope that you've enjoyed day 1 of men's European qualifiers 2019 with us here in Aberdeen. We will be back with you tomorrow, game 1 of day 2,
Yeah.
because I can't. It'll be game 6, won't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Glasgow. Thank you. Glasgow and Granite. Thank you, Tom.
That's going to be a game.
That's going to be a hell of a game. 10 a.m. We'll be back here. Please join us. Have a really great evening. Hit up Twitter. Hit up Facebook. Tell us what you think, and we'll see you tomorrow morning. Not too bright and early.
Peace and love, yo.